Okay, this is my third and final video in the motherboard section of my tutorial on how to build your own PC. I left off on, I believe, PCI Express slots. So I'm going to go move on to HDMI. HDMI goes along with, the onboard video chipset, like I was talking about in the previous videos. If you have an onboard chipset, you can connect your monitor through HDMI. So if your motherboard has an HDMI plug on the back of it, it has an onboard video chipset, and that's what HDMI is. DisplayPort is, I believe it's a Mac thing, but yeah, it's a manufacturer specialty. Now eSATA is external SATA. That's what the E stands for. It's basically the connection that's used inside the computer to connect hard drives to the motherboard. Instead, it's an external, so you can use a huge, or like a recovery drive that's sitting on your desktop that you back up your computer to. I started a lot on there. I hope you got it. So yeah, if you have like a hard drive that's on your desktop, on your desk that your computer's on, you can connect it through an eSATA connection, and it'll be super fast. It'll be really fast, a lot faster than 3.0 times the USB 3.0. It'll be like a hard drive that you have inside your computer. That's how fast it'll be. And moving on, that's what eSATA is. SP-diff out is audio. It's optical. It's a type of connection if you had like a receiver that you wanted to plug your computer into. You have optical. Both of these, coaxial and optical, they both put out 7.1, I believe, even higher, I think. So that's what SP-diff is. Mini card is, I think Intel makes like a mini card wireless adapter that goes inside your computer. It connects. It's basically the same thing as PCI Express. It's a connection, I believe, and there's special cards that have the mini card slot, that have the mini card connection, and you would plug it into one of these if your motherboard selects it or supports it. With the onboard video chipset, that's what I've been talking about throughout all these videos. It's the type of video card that is on board your motherboard. If you're going for just a regular office PC, do like Microsoft Word and stuff, integrated is fine. I would still even recommend getting a separate graphics card, because you can get a separate graphics card that's just as good for maybe like $60, $80, not a lot at all, considering the price of all these other components. So yeah, just separate it. But if you absolutely don't want to spend the money on a separate graphics card, you can select the type of graphics you want that's integrated with your motherboard. Audio channels goes with what's the SP-diff out kind of. It's the onboard audio, 6-channel, 8-channel, 10-channel. 6-channel is basically 5.1, and 8 channels basically 7.1, and 10 channels, I don't know. I don't even think anything supports that. Barely anything supports 7.1 to begin with. So that's the onboard audio. You can also even buy a better audio card that you can connect through like a PCI Express x16 slot that'll give you even better audio through a separate card if you want to spend money on a separate card. So that's what audio channels are. Max LAN is Ethernet, and Ethernet, if you have like a wired home connection, if your this computer that you're going to build is going to be right next to a router, then you can directly connect your computer straight to it, and you won't have to have a wireless card, and it'll maximize the speed of your internet connection. It comes in like 3 different speeds: 10, 100, and 1,000 megabytes a second. 1,000 megabytes a second being a gigabyte a second, which is really fast. Really fast Ethernet connection. And so that's the port. Now all these things are ports. It's what the cord connects to. Every single thing in here. They're like the plugs. Everything plugs into the motherboard. So USB 1.1 and 2.0 are the standard USBs. USB 1.1 is the first USB ever designed, I believe. And 2.0 times 2.0, why do I keep saying 2.0 times 16? I'm thinking like graphics cards up here. So USB 2.0 are what the majority of your devices that you have at home, probably if you have a camera or even iPhones, are just 2.0 times 16. Oh my god, I keep saying times 16. So yeah, iPhones are just regular USB 2.0 connection. The next iPhone will probably be a 3.0. I don't know. It might be, if it even comes out at this point. We're not even sure that the iPhone 5 is going to come out. IEE is I believe the older connection of hard drives. I believe SATA replaced IEE. It might be IEE or IDE. I might be mixing those two up. But I believe, if I'm right, the IEE is the ribbon cable, which is the older connection for like older components. If you have an older CD drive you still want to use and you want to put it in your PC, and it has a gigantic wide plug and not a skinny little plug. Skinny little plug is SATA. I'll show you some pictures in the following tutorial. If it has a wide, huge thing and it connects through a ribbon cable, it's most likely an IEE or an IDE. Now, everything that I've been talking about, the motherboard and everything, form factor. Form factor is very important because when you're getting a case to put all your computer components into, you need to make sure that your case supports the form factor of your motherboard that you chose. If it's extended ATX, you need to make sure that your case supports extended ATX motherboards. SSI CEB, which is some weird one, I don't even know. You have to make sure that it supports the motherboard you chose. ATX and I guess micro ATX are the standard form factor for motherboards. So you have to make sure that those are compatible when you get a case. If they're not, you have to either change the case or the motherboard. I would change the case because it's a lot easier and you probably already chose all the components that are compatible with the motherboard. So that wraps up my motherboard section of my tutorials. I'll be moving on to video cards in the next section. If you have a question, just leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and see you later.